Great. And I'm sure, David, that you'll be sharing your contact info at the end. I'll also get it from one of your contacts. So
yeah, our information is available. We have you know, the AFWERX website is one. We also as our front door, and then the other one is the Air Force program. The Air Force program also has a website. It's the Air Force SBIR STTR website. Our information is on there as well.
Next question from Bill McCormick. He says, I work at a small R&D business. It seems like the Air Force is trying to move away from traditional R&D type SBIRs and is moving towards dual-use commercial products. The 20.1 SBIR release had very few, if any, traditional R&D topics and mainly focused on the AFWERX open topics for dual use. Do you know if 20.2 will go back to the more traditional SBIR topics, or will it stay with the AFWERX open topics for dual-use products?
So recognizing that, you know, that there was a push for commercial products and those, the whole goal of SBIR is to do research that can then be put into technology. So whether it's dual use or whether it's Air Force only, we expect there'll be a blend. You know, we had a number of topics that went out in 21. There'll be again more topics that go out in 22. But what I think you're going to see is that if you are interested in doing, you know, things in the different genres, or revolutionary near term, or long term, mid term, far term, we have a blend of those. And it won't be any one particular, you know, genre. Yes, we've put some focus and tried to put effort into the commercial and dual use. Yes, we're going to have to put effort into you know research areas as well. And I think it's going to depend on the needs. What's the greatest needs of the Air Force? You know, doing research that the Air Force isn't going to be ready to buy, accept, and put in, that doesn't do your organization any good, and we as investors, that doesn't help us pursue. So the short answer again is yes, we are going to have a blend of near, mid, and far term things. And so what you saw in the initial release is, yes, it's one swath of the things that we're going to be doing over the next, you know, 12 months, next, you know, 18, 24 months. We used to only do one solicitation a year. We're now doing 2, 3, sometimes 4 solicitations in a year. So there'll be always different things, and it'll be driven by the needs and what the Air Force is actually trying to pull for, and who's ready to buy.
Great. All right, next question is from Jordan Matthews. Is the STTR program following a similar path? You mentioned academia working with SB small businesses, to get those ideas and technologies out, and that's what I thought the whole program was designated to do.
Yes, so the STTR program, we kind of led the path with SBIR, and the STTR is following suit. We have a number of different research topics that have gone out in the STTR realm. We have, you know, using the same open topics with the traditional topics kind of nested in there as focus areas. So if you're saying, hey, I'm looking for open, you know, I'm looking for traditional topics, they're going to be nested inside the open topics. So as we put out an open topic, those will be in there. Yes, we have topics that are going out that are designed for STTR programs as well. I think you have to look at it like this. If there is something specific that the Air Force is interested in, it'll be listed in those open topics as a focus area. If you don't see something in there as a focus area and you want to give us a proposal on that, you can put that into that topic. And that's where the power of our open topic program is that if you don't see a fit, but you know that there's something that is of value to us, you can still put it into that proposal, into that topic. And the STTR program is very similar to that for us.
Next one is from Doug Freetag. It remains unclear if you are abandoning the legacy-funded projects that are trying to move through the system. Does AFWERX plan to adopt the definitions of investor ownership that NSF and NIH have adopted?
So again, NIH and NSF, they work under a little different framework. They work under the grant framework, whereas on the DoD we are contracts, and part of the grant is Grants are designed to doing research for the purpose of building up all mankind's knowledge, but contracts are about delivering something. And so I wouldn't call it abandoning the legacy projects. What we're trying to do, what I guess I would argue is, we're now trying to say, rather than fund everything with SBIR, we are not in the position to be able to keep legacy programs going. In order for those programs to maintain and keep going, we need to match you up with someone else other than SBIR that is going to continue to invest in your program and to bring it into the fold, to take the deliverable, the products, the service, the research, and someone else is willing to invest in you. And we are going to do whatever we can to take the legacy systems that are out there, or the legacy technologies that have been developed under SBIR. We want to see you in the hands of a buyer, whether that's somebody buying research, whether that's somebody buying a product, we are buying service. We want to provide, we want to see that matchup been made. So abandoning those is not the right word. The answer is we're looking for who's the next person to pick up and work with you. And we are trying to take our SBIR investment and use that precious seed dollars as the start, not the sustainment of those programs through the whole life cycle. That's not what the program was designed to do.
This next question is from Sarah Carroll. Doesn't requiring those types, I think this refers to a previous question asked earlier, doesn't requiring the types of monetary commitments disproportionately put the smaller businesses with fewer big industry contacts at a disadvantage?
So I think what we're trying to do is we understood that, and we're backing away from the requirement. What we're really looking for is the small businesses that if your goal as a small business is you want to use SBIR as the lifeblood of your business, then probably no, we're not going to be a good fit for you. But if you're interested in taking your technology and taking an investment from the SBIR program and using it to capitalize on, whether it may be industry, it may be prime contractors, it may be other government organizations, it may be other Air Force organizations. If you're interested in that, then yes, we are a good fit. But if the goal is that the Air Force SBIR program will continue to fund you, for numbers and numbers of years and for multiple options, we are not a pure funding and sustainment organization. We are a seed funding investment organization, and that's where that's what our charter is. That's what our congressional charter says, and we'll continue to go down that path. But looking for opportunities. We're not going to be requiring you to bring in commercial contacts, but it is a good measure of whether or not someone else is interested in buying from you. If the government, the commercial industry, or other government industry, those are all indicators of whether someone else is interested in putting funding on it, because we don't have the ability to maintain funding throughout the entire life cycle of those programs.
Here's a quick question from Susan Sprentel. If we applied for 20.1, has everyone been notified?
So I think I'm not exactly sure. I think we've had a lot of notifications go out. That's a question I'll have to ask our team. If you haven't been notified, then we certainly need to make sure that gets the door closed and get the door closed out with you and where you sit. Again, feel free to reach out to us on our website and our info line or whatever, and then we'll try to get you an answer.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left. We probably won't get to all the questions. I have the ones that we didn't get to recorded, so I could send them your way, David.
Yeah, the other thing is on our website there is an info email line. If anybody that's out there wants to send their questions, if they didn't get answered to that, we have a team that looks through those and we can get answers to you.
This next one is from Jack Rutherford. We're a recent phase 1 company, and we have just pitched out phase 2 earlier today. We're going directly to phase 3. When we talked to Air Force customers about phase 3, they did not know how to respond when we mentioned sole source. More P3 support?
Yeah, so we've got that. You're right, and that's something. This journey is also about educating the government, and so we've got lots of options for people that want to go to phase 3 and how to do that. They can contract through that organization. They can also contract through. GSA. There's lots of phase 3 options. If you'd like, there's actually a phase 3 guide that's a part of our website, and it's got lots of things about phase 3. But if your government customer doesn't understand phase 3, we need to have you connect them with our office so that we can make sure they better understand that. Overall, trying to work on that to make people understand the power of the tool.
Next one's from Matthew Fox. How are you handling competition amongst SBIR companies? Are you accepting multiple companies with similar tech?
So the numbers of technology. So the idea of once you're on a particular technology track, we are looking at multiple technologies that have the same feel. But what we do try to look at is that there are slight variations in the system. Anytime you're doing research, it's always good to have there are always different approaches to solving that problem. So we don't want to only select one. Like any innovation organization, we want to create this large funnel. We want to bring as many different organizations that have relevant things that we're interested in and viable and relevant technology approaches. And we want to try to see how those progress over time. Just because you win a phase 1, we can't make any promises that you'll get a phase 2. We can't make any promises you get a follow-on. We can't make any promises that you get a phase 3. All that our organization can provide is the opportunity for those things to happen. And as a funding entity, we will provide funding as seed money to match you up as best we can and to help you move through this process.
This question is from Larry Williams. Is there a direct to phase 2 open topic? According to the post on ESIP, it says canceled.
Yeah, so it's cancel's not the right word. We had some wording that came out. One of them is the idea of being able to do multiple topics or multiple awards. We're trying to fix that. We like you are human. All we've done is tried to delay that. We're going to be putting that topic back out again. So again, I apologize if it's several weeks or whatever from when you were, but nothing's gone wrong. You didn't lose your work. Just save it, put it into the new topic, and we'll go from there. I anticipate that every solicitation round going forward we'll have direct to phase 2s. I don't want to tell you, again, rewinding, I love hearing these questions, but we used to only put out topics once a year. So we've got them going so often now that about every 2 or 3 months there'll be another round of topics, and there's always going to be the ability to put your proposal into one of those. So, understood, we did not cancel we had to cancel that solicitation. We're going to be reissuing that. And those folks are going to be able to put into that solicitation. We didn't let you out hanging. Not going to happen. Yeah. So again, we have avenues within the Air Force SBIR program to answer your questions. But just as we're leaning forward here, our AFWERX partners are also a great front door if you have questions. If I feel supremely confident we've developed a strong partnership, if they can't answer the question within their community, then they'll pass it down to us as well. So you have both of those options. So the Air Force website and the AFWERX website, they are not two separate organizations. We are very much merged together. I think that's something that there may be some confusion, but we are one unified organization. The Air Force Ventures going forward, we are the banner of innovation for the Air Force right now, and AFWERX is our front. They are our interface to you, and the SBIR portfolio is the engine behind power. How all these things will happen, and we're very excited about the propositions going forward. We're very excited about the successes we've had, and we're ready to correct the things that were kind of unintended consequences of the things we've tried out. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your involvement, and then looking forward to doing more things with you going into the future.